All right, so I'd like to welcome y'all today. We're going to talk about the media analysis paper, which is the final exam for our class. With us today, we have our head librarian at Northwest Campus, Ms. Laura Leon Breeze. Thank you for being with us today, Laura Lee. And Ms. Breeze is going to walk you through some specific resources for the media analysis paper that we have on the EPCC website, both on the research page, built specifically for my class, and she's going to show you some databases that will be super helpful.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Can you see that? Yes? Okay. So this is the main library page. So we're going to go to the LibGuide. So we scroll down and we go to Library Research Guides. And then we can just search by instructor's last name, Dr. Smucker right here, and then search. And it's the first result. So this is a LibGuide where we're going to find all the resources. This will be, are they all 1301s or 1302s?
1302s for this group.
1302s. Okay. So here is where you can find the media analysis list. It's also on your Blackboard. So once you select a film, you can see that your instructor has nicely provided you with some topics already below the title, and then kind of like the context, the year of the film. So once you select one, we're going to do some research and historical fact checking here using the databases so you can do your media analysis. And today I think I want to pick something else besides Casablanca.
I know that's usually Miss Breeze's standby. She loves that film, and that's her kind of favorite to search. Let's see.
What's one of your favorites?
One of my favorites. It's hard, man. That's so hard.
Like
if you want to stick with the World War II era, let's see. Maybe something like A League of Their Own.
Which one?
A League of Their Own.
The League of Their Own. Where is that one? Oh, okay.
Right there.
This one. Okay. Martin Weeman, 1992.
I picked that one because it's an older film, but it's not something that's considered. Sorry, Mateo's barking at something. Not considered quite as much of a canon classic. Like there are some films like Casablanca or Gone with the Wind that there have been a lot written on academically. And then there are other films that you're probably not going to find as many scholarly articles on. A League of Their Own is old enough that you might find some, but probably not as in the volume of an older film like Casablanca.
Thank you. Okay, so that's why I always pick Casablanca because there's so much in it. But let's pick another one today. So I like that one. Let's go back to the LibGuide. And also, this will be their second session, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I mentioned about the handout last time, and there's one handout here that has some keywords that I would recommend using also for your media analysis right here at the bottom. So when you're doing your media analysis and you're doing your searches, what is it that you're kind of focusing on? There's a historical context, there's the accuracy of the film, the interpretation of the past, culture diffusion. There's so many other keywords that you can focus on your analysis. So these keywords would also help you. So that handout is also in there, as well as a Boolean operator that I mentioned last time, but I'm going to cover a little bit more today. So the and, the or, not, the parentheses, the quotation marks, and the asterisk. I'm going to explain that a little bit more as I'm doing my searches. I'm going to keep that open. So here at the middle section, we have the EBSCO Discovery Service, which is the main search engine for all the resources that we have available at the library. All physical collections are closed right now, but if there's a specific book that you need related to your film, I'll be more than happy to accommodate curbside pickup. As a matter of fact, we're going to start with opening our book drops as of Monday. So if you have any books to return, that's also going to be available now. So we can do a search here for that film, and I'm going to put quotes for the title to make sure that's a Boolean operator, the quotes, to make sure that the search engine looks for all the words that I'm typing in the same order that I'm typing them. Okay, so they're not loose anywhere in the article, leak here, there, over there. And that way you'll look for them as a title. What happened? Okay, there it is. And of course we have the DVD at the library, and it says it's between libraries, so somebody might have returned it and it's coming our way. But most of the films that are in the list are also available if you're not able to find them on Netflix, Amazon Prime, or any of the services that you subscribe to, and you really need the DVD. Also, you can let us know, and again, we'll accommodate for you to pick up as a curbside service. So there are...
Just don't last minute.
Yes.
Don't last minute and stress out the library.
That. That's right. Okay, so this will give you all kind of resources here. As you can see, you have multimedia like the video, the DVD. You have periodicals, which includes newsletters, newspapers, magazines, popular magazines that you can find in any convenience store. Those will be under periodical. Again, video recordings, newspaper articles. The academic journal will be the equivalent to the peer-reviewed journals, the scholarly journals. They all fall here under academic journal. But maybe not all articles under academic journal will be the peer review, as there are some editor notes or letters and stuff like that. So once you open the article, you will be able to identify whether it's a full text article or it's just a communication within a journal. And then I'm trying to look for books. There's no books. Okay, if you don't see any books, you can also use the filters to refine your results on the left-hand side. You can filter just by scholarly, just by the catalog. Since we're doing this remotely, I would recommend doing it by ebooks if you're looking for books. And here, all this you can access from home. You don't even have to wait for us to deliver to you or anything. So they're right here. You just click on the PDF full text. And it'll open the entire book for you. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Trying to make it smaller. Okay, right there. You can go and browse through the table of contents to see the entire book, or you can do a search within. I'm gonna type the title of the film to see what it says about it. Is it of its own or their own? Of their own.
So this would be a good example of how when you do a search within the book, you can see that it's not referring to the title of the film, it's using the phrase, right? The general phrase, A League of Their Own. So this would be a case where this book would not be a good source. It's not related to your film, but that's why it's really helpful to use the Boolean operators, right? And to look within text if you're not sure.
The other thing I would recommend, since I don't think none of this seem relevant, you can do the and then the quotes film or movie and make sure the Boolean operators are uppercase. We're gonna do another search. Does that one seem more related? Not to me. The first one does, right?
The popular culture one.
The second one?
Yeah, that one maybe.
Let's search within. It looks like it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, yeah, this one is. And you mentioned that on the keywords that this was about sports and women, so it does look like it is, even if I haven't seen the film, know nothing about it. it does seem more relevant. And this is a good example, a movie that I am not familiar with or not aware of. In order for us to be able to see if the results are relevant or not, you need to be somehow familiar with the film. So this is a good thing that she provided us with some keywords there, the year of the film. So now we can tell this is more relevant or related to it. And since it was during World War II, we know kind of the 1940s, so we now know this is kind of related to it. And it'll highlight all the key terms. Unfortunately, it highlighted everything, the A, the off. Let's see if I do the quotes here, what would happen? Ah, that's better. Cleaner. So even within the book, the Boolean operators will do a better search, and you can see the terms highlighted, and it'll take you to the page exactly where those are mentioned. There you go. If you want to cite this particular book, you can click on the quote at the top where it says cite, and it'll give you the citation. Your instructor lets you use either APA, MLA, or Chicago. So you just go ahead and select, let's say I'm using APA. You just highlight the citation, and then you can copy paste it into your paper. If you scroll down, you see there Chicago, scroll down a little bit more, then you can see the MLA. Remember, for MLA, the URL it's required, so make sure that you include that when you copy and paste the citation. I have to admit it, sometimes these databases do have errors, so make sure that you double check with the citation style guide. In your LibGuide, there's a handout too. You scroll down, there's a citation style APA MLA in Chicago, so you can double check. The first 2 pages are for print resources, and the second 2 pages are for electronic resources. So if you're using MLA, here's an example for an ebook. If you're using for APA, so for each of the styles, they go down through those columns. So MLA is the first one, APA in the middle, and Chicago in the far right. So then you can compare and make sure it's in the correct format, okay? Because I've catch some mistakes. Sometimes they have the title not in italics, or when you copy paste it, you lose the italics, or it's all in uppercase, so some random stuff. Okay, so that would be for ebooks.
Oh, just one question.
Mhm.
Getting into that where it's kind of nice where in the works cited it tells you how to get that in the to get that in your works cited section. Is there any help for like the in paragraph citations? Because I know some of them I have a hard time trying to figure out what I put in the quotations. Because some of these websites are really weird, I guess, you know? Like you don't have the author, you don't have this. Is there anything here that we can get to help with that?
Not on this one, but for that, I would recommend the Purdue OWL site.
Okay.
Do you agree, Melissa?
Yes, so you can do Purdue OWL or Son of a Citation Machine. Both of those, you can kind of put it in and see the general rule of thumb. Are you using MLA or APA, Erica?
MLA usually.
MLA,
yeah.
okay. So for MLA, the general rule of thumb is when you put an in-text citation, it's in the parentheses, right?
Yes.
So, but you're saying, you know, it's really hard. Like, what do you put if you don't have an author, right? Because normally it's author page number. But if you're getting like a website, right, then that's a little bit less clear because sometimes you don't have an author. I would say definitely don't put the whole URL in your parentheses in the text. Save that for your works cited page. But you can find website, they'll give you some pointers on that. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you cite a section of a website, or how do you cite a web article that doesn't have an author?
Okay. Right here. So they have a full article on it, and this is the one I would highly recommend. And also, like Dr. Smacher said, they have the citation machine link here. If you do it, they will give you the example on how to do the in-text also. And you can do website, book, journal article, the film itself, so you can do it here too.
Okay, and what was the other site that was recommended other than Purdue?
This is the one.
Oh, okay.
This is the one.
They're linked together.
The handout, it's in the LibGuide. And also on your LibGuide, if you go to citation and writing styles, there's a link to the Purdue OWL right here.
Okay.
Okay, so it's also on your LibGuide. Okay. Somehow the tools for Teams are on the way and they won't move. That hadn't happened before. Okay, they're gone. Okay, so back to the results. Again, I was doing it by ebooks now. I'm gonna go back and remove that filter and search everything else, or even magazines so you can see how it looks, or the academic journals. But let me run all results again. I'm gonna go back here and do it again. For some reason, it's not letting me see everything. Oh no, it's not that it's not letting me. It's going mainly through ebooks. Okay, but there again, some of the newspaper articles in there. Doesn't seem like there are that many scholarly or academic journals in this particular search, but we're gonna use some other resources. So I'm gonna go back to the LibGuide. We're gonna go to articles and databases. And the one, if you don't know the film, like in my case right now, that I highly recommend, it's Credo reference. That's the equivalent to the Wikipedia, but from a reliable source. They don't have anything on it. I'm surprised.
So this is a great example of how sometimes if you're doing films or especially video games, because I know that at least one person in this particular class is doing a relatively recent video game, you're probably not going to find a whole lot on that specific title in an academic database. So this would be where, as Ms. Umbrise said, you kind of rely on your context clues. Hopefully you've seen the film or played the video game, right? So in other words, A League of Their Own, we already said World War II, right? Takes place during World War II. It's about women. It's about sports. So that's when you start to kind of use some of your other potential search terms if you can't find anything specifically about the film.
Okay. It did give me a mind map, and it is referring me to some Google Books and news, which is interesting.
Yeah, and it looks like some of them are a little bit more relevant on the points than others on the mind map. That's what's nice about the Credo mind map that this Ms. Umbrise is showing you too, is if you find one, like for example, All American Girls Professional, you can click on that and see, and it'll show you some other resources usually.
Right now it's not, but yeah, that would be.
Usually it works.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to go to the actual databases. So we're going to go. So you don't think the very specific history ones will have something on that one, or yes?
I think if you search the terminology like women professional sports or World War II in sports, you're more likely to find an article about the general topic, but not the film specifically.
Okay.
But remember, one of the things that your instructions ask for is a review of the film. So that would be a great example to look at a newspaper database and see if you can find a review of the film.
So let's try the New York Times and see what we find there. And since I'm doing this remotely from home, it's asking me to authenticate. It's the same credentials that you use for Blackboard or for your email. Okay, so we're going to do that here. Zero results. That's interesting. Do I have a typo there? No, huh? There it is. To me, they don't seem related. Okay, I'm gonna start adding the other keywords as you said. Sports or women. Let's see what that gives us.
So the top one, right? Female athletes.
Which one?
The top one,
Okay.
cinematic portrayals of female athletes. That would be one. Right. So that would be applicable.
That's a thesis. Yeah, okay. Yes.
So let's see. It looks like League of Her Own is also relevant. Women in Baseball, the Encyclopedia of Women in Baseball is relevant.
Yeah, this one sounds smart. I like it. Okay, so again, this is a very good example that you really need to know your film. That's what this one has proven. Okay, so that's one, and I guess I'm gonna try the same one that I usually do to see how that looks with the movie or film. And then I'll go back to that one in the database. These databases are not liking me today.
Yeah, that's definitely a typo because Casablanca, like, there should be a lot of results that pop up on that one.
I'm saying that they're not happy with me today.
You know, finals week is coming up. A bunch of people are doing research. Maybe the system's just a little overwhelmed.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do Casablanca and propaganda on this one and see what happens. Okay, there it is. Yeah, they're acting a bit weird. That's weird and no results. It's weird. Okay, so again, the best thing is to know your film to haven't seen it before. That way you can see more of it, find more results and stuff, and have more keywords. Okay, I'm gonna go to the History Study Center. And going back to the A League of Their Own, if you get this error on Google Chrome, just click on Advanced and then Proceed. It should be okay. It's safe. And since, again, we're not finding anything very specific about the film, we're going to do the sports, women, and World War II and see what we get. And it's giving us some study units, some historical documents. I would go all the way down to the journals and see what you find in there, because those are the ones that might be more relevant to the film analysis. And again, I'm having a hard time because I haven't seen the movie. But for example, here, Why Not 10 Women to War might have something interesting.
Yeah, that might have something interesting on kind of like the context of women's involvement in the war, but it doesn't look like any of those initial results are about like women in sports during the war. So with a film like League of Their Own, you might find, which I mean is not again kind of considered a classic in the same realm as Casablanca, but is a pretty beloved film. You might also find more on the general internet. You can use these same Boolean operators that Miss Umbrise is using in a general Google search.
Yes.
So you might find something with League of Their Own using those same Boolean operators that she showed you. By doing a general Google search, you might find like a blog or an article in a popular magazine about it if you can't find an academic one.
I also put the Google Scholar here, which I think will also be helpful. Let me see. So if you put the League of Their Own, the film or movie, maybe here there are going to be more articles and books that do relate to it.
Yeah, already this is much more relevant stuff.
Yeah, you can even see here film analysis of League of Their Own. And if you click here, it's the full text of that article. So for a title like this, there's not much scholarly in there. It looks like a thesis, but it's still good. And it is film analysis.
So if you don't have those links on the right side, like Miss Umbreeze is showing you, that means that you're not going to be able to access the entire article.
But I'll be happy to help because most of them we can still get them sometimes. So
you can, yeah, you would have to have Miss Umbreeze or another librarian request like an interlibrary loan or access to it.
Mm-hmm. So there are more in here, and let's add an additional keywords like the spores, women, war. Let's see. And it seems like it keeps getting better there. And more related. And if we do this same search just on plain Google, you're obviously going to get way more. But here you would have to be more careful and kind of analyze. And it doesn't hurt to read the IMDb and the Wikipedia articles to learn more about the movie, like just to learn about it. But if you decide that you, what is this? Now they're charging? Maybe later.
They're just asking for donations.
Wow, I hadn't seen that. It's huge. Okay, so then you can come down to the references. So if there's something that you really like from here, I would recommend that you scroll all the way down and click on the reference and make sure it's from a reliable source. No brainy quotes. Again, don't cite Wikipedia itself, but go to the actual article. The BBC News is a good, reliable source, but go and make sure that they're citing accordingly and that it is from a reliable source, okay? So not against completely about Wikipedia, but use it with caution. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And the IMDb usually, have good synopses and reviews, and you can watch the trailer just to decide if that's a movie that you want to choose. So it's also a good place to stop by and see. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the LibGuide. We also have something here on their websites. These are pre-selected sites by your instructor and me, and that you can rely on. So I'm gonna do my sim search. I'm gonna remove the sports, women, and war right now. And it'll point you to some resources already from government side, from educational websites, so stuff that you can rely on, and then you can click on, and it'll take you to the actual website right there. And let me go back. This other one, it's from the Library of Congress. And that's what Dr. Smucker was saying right now, All-American Girls Baseball League. So it'll give you a synopsis there too. The first one sometimes are ads, so just stay away from those. If it has this little box that says ads, stay away from those, and then scroll down a little bit, and then you should be able to see the actual results from the pre-selected websites. And as you can see, it goes over to 10 more pages of results, and they all should be relevant because these are all history-related sites. Okay, so that's also a very good step if you don't want to go into the open web, but make sure that, like I did, you write your title of your film or your video game. If it's a video game, obviously don't put film or movie, but you can put video game. But if it's a film or movie, you can add the and in uppercase, and then the quotes film or movie. Okay. And that's going to work in the databases, in Google Scholar, plain Google search, any of those. We have these film-related books, but these are only available in print for now. We're working on getting them as an ebook, but if you really need one of them again, let us know and we'll try to see if we can accommodate to deliver. So you can do the curbside pickup, I'm sorry, not deliver. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the articles and databases. Again, I only show you just History Study Center and the New York Times, but there's a bunch of others. Like Jester Essential is pretty good for the scholarly resources. Yeah, try. I'm still not giving up on this one. I'm gonna try the El Ligo Verón to see what comes up, and if not, I'll do my Casablanca. Nothing. This is very interesting, Melissa. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna try Casablanca on this one.
If you don't find something on Casablanca in this search, then the search engine is really broken. Yep.
It is, right? Can't believe this. I mean, we've done it. You know it works. Wow.
So if at first you don't succeed, try again.
I know. Or let me know, and I'll make sure I need to check why it's not finding anything. That's weird. Okay, but this one we know kind of it's more related. Also, I can put war. I can keep adding different, and I know this one for sure it is relevant because I know it is a film from 1942. So this is a related article. You can just click download PDF, proceed, and it'll give you the full text of the article. Can I go back? Cite this item. It'll give you the citation already pre-formatted in all three formats, MLA, APA, Chicago. If you've been in a previous class at Northwest and have Noodle tools, you can export directly from here. So those will be, yeah, this looks more like it, 168 articles. And just by looking at the abstract, most of them do seem related to what I'm looking for. Okay, the other one that I would recommend is where is it? The America's Historical Newspapers. That's way more than the New York Times. It'll cover all of the newspapers, including the local El Paso Times. I'm still not giving up on that one. I think I'm gonna make it my assignment. Seriously, look.
I know.
Very, very much a surprise. Let's remove that and put sports. Remember. Okay, there it is. And it goes all the way back to what? Wow, 1916? I don't think that was gonna be related.
No, the film was released in the 1990s.
Yeah, and you can see the bar, it goes up really high around those years, 1992. Like in the over 250 articles per year. And maybe that's a good thing. You can do 91 to 95 when the film was released around those years to get those articles and see. And I like this database because it's not just the text of the article, it's the actual newspaper. And you can see that one is related. So this one will have a lot of the newspaper articles that you might find on Google searches, but you won't have the full text. Here you will have the full text, the actual newspaper article. It goes, again, back to the 1800s, I think. Oh, 1600s. Wow. Yes. So you can find pretty much anything in there. Again, if your film is more recent, it won't be in there because this goes up to the 2000. So this is for older newspaper articles. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Am I missing something?
No, I think that's a pretty good overview. Do you have any questions, Erica? Anything that Miss Lombrise didn't cover that you're still curious about?
No, I'm good.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Lurley. I'm going to go ahead and end recording now.